Hopefully I record this right this time. Because last time was a pain. So basically the purpose of this call today is it's a new month. It's the beginning of the month, and we wanted to be able to kind of start off this month with a bang. We wanted to be able, as your coaches, give you good ideas of how to hit Success Club and how to meet your goals as a coach with the business as well as your own personal goals. Because, you know, we tell you all the time, do the goals, hit Success Club, and it will work. But sometimes it's not always that easy. It's not always. I remember when I was first a coach, like to hit Success Club seemed impossible. Even though it was 3 people, I didn't know 3 people. I wasn't going to go and randomly talk to 3 people to help them. And so it was a super big limiting belief for me because I didn't have, you know, the friends or the family background that I could just ask them to help. I just wasn't that way. And so basically it comes down to your belief system of whether or not you can and to do the actions to make it happen. And Ashley and Suzanne, hop in if I'm, yeah. Anyway, so when Ashley and I were talking, we were talking about, like, you know, what is it that holds us back from hitting Success Club every month or getting to Emerald or those kind of things. And I specifically remember when I first signed up as a coach, I looked at Micah and I was terrified of her success. I was terrified to have that many coaches under me looking to me for advice when I had no clue what the hell I was doing. Like nothing, you know, like that terrified me. And so I had to step back and realize that I was at newborn baby phase. Micah was in her teenage years at first growth. And some people get there quicker than others, but you can't compare where you're starting to somebody else who you don't know their backstory, you don't know how they are. The more I've got to know Micah, I know Micah has basically been raised since the time she was a baby to be the most disciplined. So, you know, she was an athlete. She was training to be in the Olympics for gymnastics. I don't know how many of you guys know that, but she, you know, every day after school, it was gymnastics all day long. So she has been trained her whole life to be super, super disciplined. Most of us have not. And so that's a learning curve that we have to create to do our vitals every day, to do our workout, to eat right, to talk to people and invite people, and to have that confidence to do it so that we don't feel salesy or icky and we don't feel like, you know, we're spamming people because of our messages. So that really comes down to personal growth and development. That is a huge, huge part of this. And it comes down to your own personal journey and sharing that. We've talked about this before too. You can't just get on and share your workout posts and say, I got me working in, I feel really good. Those are great, but you have to get to the point that you're almost being super vulnerable and sharing the hard stuff. You have to share the things, the not so pretty things sometimes of the things you're struggling with and why that workout helped you get through that. That's what people are going to connect to. That's what people are going to relate to. And when they do connect and they do talk to you about it and say, hey, thanks for posting that, I felt that way too. That's when the relationship starts. That's where you start to connect with them and you build that relationship. Do you jump in and say, come join me on my challenge group? Sometimes it depends on the flow of the conversation and you have to take that as it is, but sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you just have to keep building on that relationship and keep sharing those things because you know that person and people like that person are going to be the ones watching you. So you have to build your confidence of what you're sharing, and that takes a lot of time sometimes. So Ashley, do you have anything else to add to that?
I was just going to say, along those lines, I mean, that's so true. Being vulnerable, like, helps build the relationship, helps build the trust, but that takes time. And in the beginning, when you don't necessarily have time, because let's say you're wanting to be a success starter and you want to earn your free summit ticket, that means you need to hit Success Club for the first time, either your first month or your second month, and then 3 months consecutively. Okay. You don't have time for like waiting for that to build. So that can be frustrating because you don't, whatever. So that is when, I know we bang this drum every single freaking week, but that is when being a product of the product comes into play. And that is when you are posting, I just finished a round of 21 Day Fix. I just finished a round of Shift Shop. I just finished 21 Day Fix Extreme. I just finished Core to Force, something that's 2 to 4 or 3 to 4 weeks that is short, that you can do in your first month. And look what happened to my body in 3 weeks. Look what happened to my body in 4 weeks. And that is how you get the ball rolling at the beginning. Yeah. But that, so it's
sharing too, just to like sharing your progress. Almost use your social media as accountability tool of, this is what I'm eating, this is my workout. So this, you know, use that as a accountability tool of your journey to say, this is, I started day 1 and I finished day 21 and here are my results. And then you start over. That, honestly, I know for me, that is what 100% helped me hit Success Club my first month, because otherwise I wouldn't have. And my very first coach post was my first round results of 21 Day Fix. And I was very consistent of sharing after every single round my results. Okay, 3 weeks, here's my results. 3 weeks, here's my results. And you could see my body changing, and you could see the difference in such a short amount of time that people were jumping on. And so that is very, very important, for sure.
And I think when, and like Sharon said, sorry, I was invisible at the beginning. I was on, but I just got out of the shower and figured y'all didn't want to see that. I think Sharon and I were talking that I think sometimes people see that like you're diamond and you've hit Success Club however many times, and you just don't understand that it's hard, and I don't know who to talk to, and people aren't coming to me, and I don't know how, like, we know what that feels like. I remember my first month, Jalen's my coach, that she was like, sign up your husband and sign up your sister. And I was like, okay, number one, we had to pull money out of savings to buy my challenge pack. I am not buying my husband a challenge pack. And my sister doesn't want anything to do with this. So no, I can't sign up my sister. And okay, we'll talk to your mom. Okay, well, I did. My mom can't. Okay, we'll talk to your dad. My dad doesn't have any money. Okay, well, you could buy a challenge pack under your dad's name. Okay, but again, I don't have the money to buy a challenge pack. I barely have money to buy my own challenge pack. I'm not buying money. No, I'm not. So like, I get it. Like we get it. We know that buying a challenge pack under your husband, if you haven't done that yet, we get that seems really stupid, and that seems, or not even stupid, but that you just don't have the money for it, and that you're not making money under your own coach account. Why would you open another one? And we get that, and we've been there. What? I swear, she is like quiet as a mouse until I get on video calls, and then she's got to talk. Yes, you can get it. They're right there. You can get her one. We're playing in Emma's room. Maybe that's what I need to stop doing. I need to stop doing calls in Emma's room. But we've been there. We know. Yes, you can. We know that that's a major leap of faith. But for me personally, when I finally decided, you know what, I do want to go all in this business, I am going to sign up my husband. it made me show up. It made me be consistent. It made me actually do my vitals and make sure I was posting and make sure I was being a product of the product and make sure I was doing my PD and that I was talking to people and that I was hitting Success Club, because I couldn't afford my own Shakeology, let alone 2 Shakeologies. I needed the income to kick in or I wasn't going to be able to keep going. What, babe? Yes. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. If you guys are thinking, I mean, no one has necessarily expressed the like, well, you don't understand. Oh my gosh. I'm going to mute because I cannot figure out what the crap my child wants and I'm about to not lose my temper at all. But just know, like, if that is a doubt that you have, we know what that's like. We know what it's like to be starting out and thinking, I'm not making any money in my account. Why the heck would I pay more for someone else to do this too? So we know what that's like. It makes you put skin in the game, though. It really does.
Yeah, it totally does. And to kind of go along with that, like, I guess I want to open it up to you guys of what you guys are struggling with. Like, what is your biggest, like, I guess, hurdle that you feel like you have to overcome in your business right now? Like, what is it that you are struggling with? You're muted, Amber. Hold on.
Getting people to say yes.
Getting people to say yes.
But we talked about that, and I have like 50 people who want to lose weight, so I'm just going to start there, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And I think, too, that's pretty common. Like, like I said when I was talking to you before, you sometimes have to talk to people on an average of 10 times before they actually commit, because it's scary. I mean, it was scary for you to sign up as a coach or in a challenge group. So you have to kind of keep yourself in that phase 1 of what they're feeling and kind of just relate it back. I know how you feel because I felt the same way. When you're ready, I'm here for you. Like, just leave it at that and just keep building the relationships, and they'll come to you when they are ready. When they finally hit that rock bottom, they will come. I promise. It happens almost every time. But the thing is if you're not being consistent and you're not continuing that relationship with them, they will find somebody else, or they'll find a different product or a different avenue of somebody that is showing. And so
exactly. And
that's where
why is a freaking men. That's why you cannot disappear. If you're frustrated because people are not pulling the trigger and you get frustrated and you stop posting and you stop doing your journey, like Sharon said, they will go somewhere else when they are ready, because they will hit a breaking point that they will be ready. I cannot tell you how many people come to me that I look back in our conversations that I talked to them about doing a group a year and a half ago, and they're just barely getting to the point that they're ready. And that's frustrating that it takes that long. But then in hindsight, it took me 5 months to pull the trigger. So, to a degree, that happens. And I think that's why it's really important to be talking to as many people as possible, because the more you're talking to, the less of a problem it is when people are taking their dear sweet time getting off the fence.
Now, I do have a question about that, because this is, like, I know personally that I fall short on my follow-ups, because I feel like I'm talking to so many people that they get lost. Like, I forget who never responded. Even though I write it down in my notebook, I forget who I'm talking to and what we've talked about. And then it's not that I don't forget to go back, but it's that I've been talking to so many people, I go back and I feel like I haven't talked to you in a month. Like, how often should I follow up with the people I've talked to? Like, if I'm talking to 50 people a week, should I go back and talk to those 50 people again the next week?
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
So my thoughts on that, Amber, is personally, I send an invite if they said no to a challenge pack, I don't say, hey, I'm going to check back with you in 3 months or 3 years or 3 weeks or whatever. Like, I immediately say, okay, I'm running a free group in 2 weeks, because my normal challenge group starts the first Monday of the month, and my free group starts the third Monday of the month, because it's 2 weeks and I can have them either cancel or sign up before the month ends. And it can either help me hit Success Club if I haven't yet, or it can help me hit Success Club 20, right? Because I sign up all these people at the end of the month. But if they say no to my challenge group, I immediately say, because 99% of them say because they can't afford it or they don't have the money for it, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes people are like, I just don't have time, or I'm super busy right now, but I'd love to do it with you next month. Then, okay, those people, I make a note, follow up with this person, blah, 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 this date. And because they gave me permission to follow up with them on that date, even if I haven't talked to them in a month, I'll say, hey, I just had a reminder go off on my phone reminding me to follow up with you. Are you ready now? Is the time right, or whatever? And they don't freak out about that. Okay. But if it's a money thing, then I say, okay, like, do you want to be a part of my free group? It's starting in 2 weeks, and then you can see if it's even something you would like or use or want to save up money for. And 99% of them say, oh my gosh, yes, I'd love that. And then they try out the free group, and then they say, you know what, I do love this, but we still just don't have money, but when I'm ready, I'll come to you, or whatever, you know. But then at least I put them almost like in a separate list of like, these people do want it, just not yet. I don't know if that helps or makes sense.
So in between, then you're just building the relationship, you know, hey, how are your kids? I saw you went to the fair or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, and just commenting. Honestly, I don't do a ton of messages unless it's been a while since I talked to them. I more comment on their photos, because then I feel like I'm learning about the things that are really significant in their life, rather than just trying to make chit chat with somebody who doesn't really want to chit chat. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think for me too, like if I went through like my old power hours, if I'm like struggling, I don't know who to invite or something, I'll go through my old power hours from the last 3 months or something, and I'll kind of scroll through, and I'll usually find people in there like, oh crap, I haven't talked to them for a while. And that's a way for me to then start new conversations with them again. Because even though it's a couple months, like social media is social media. Like they're not going to think it's weird if you're all of a sudden commenting again, like, and building relationship. But I think more than anything, remember that our job as a coach is not to sell them a challenge pack. Our job is to add value into people's lives and to show them what this can do for their family, it can do for their life, and bless them. So if you're struggling with that, share value on your page. Share your journey, share value, be vulnerable. If you do those 3 things, you will find people and they will flock to you. Like, you will find the people that you need, and it becomes easier to naturally build relationships, because I think that's something that a lot of newer coaches or people who aren't super established yet kind of struggle with. But at the same time, if you're not consistent with it, it's a struggle whether you're a diamond coach, an emerald coach, a new coach. It becomes a struggle if you're not consistent, because you lose your momentum. So the more you continually do it, the easier it becomes, because it becomes something that's natural and it comes off as natural, instead of like, oh crap, I have to hit Success Club in 2 days. What the heck am I going to do? And you're panicking, and people feel that. So that's why we wanted to kind of give you ideas at the first of the month, so you can start that relationship building and start the things now, so that at the end of the month you've already hit Success Club and you've already talked to people. If you don't know where to start as far as building a following and building new friendships, I actually was on, are you guys all part of the Beachbody Champions page on Facebook? If you're not, make sure you either add yourself or have your coach add you, because they share so much good stuff on there. I was actually on it the other day, and Kim Carver, he's part of corporate, was sharing, they are incorporating all this new training through corporate, and a huge one was how to build a following. Like, they're doing all these trainings and video trainings for it. And he has links to all of the YouTube videos. I'll see if I can find it. And I'll post it in our leader page, and then they can post it in your team pages or whatever. But they do stuff like this on the Beachbody Champion page all the time to help you. And honestly, there are millions and millions and millions of YouTube videos from top coaches. Like, if you need to know how to do something, you can YouTube it or ask your coach about it, and we can figure out a way to get you some training on it or whatever. It's in Micah's training too. So you have to be a student in this, and you have to be proactive about it. It's not just going to happen unless you put the work in. So I guess at the end of the day, you have to figure out what it is as a coach that you want out of this. You know, people aren't magically going to just appear and start asking to buy things from you just because you're showing you workout online. You have to figure out, is this going to be a hobby that you do to keep you accountable, or is this an actual business that you show up every day to work? You have to do those behaviors to make it work. Otherwise, it won't. So does anyone else have any questions, concerns, whatevs? Input? Anything?
I do want to add that I don't think there are very many coaches in this business who stick around that are not hitting Success Club in terms of sticking around on the business side. They may stick around for the accountability side, and they may. You want to bring the wagon in here? Hold on one second. I love being a mother. If we don't, I just want to make sure you guys know, we don't tell you guys to hit Success Club because we want the volume, or we want the elite points, or we want the whatever. My business, my first month, I made $15. And guess what? I didn't hit Success Club, obviously, because if I only made $15, there was no commission there. And if you're wanting anything financial out of this, you have to hit Success Club. And that has to be a non-negotiable that you set for yourself. You have to do it. And if money isn't something you're wanting in this, then you know what, that's different. Except Micah's done a lot of trainings about that, and money needs to be part of why you're wanting to coach. Sharon, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess, like,
because I feel like I'm not saying it right. There's a.
You have to have training. You basically just need to have goals in every part of your business, or you're not going to advance anywhere. If you don't have a goal to hit Emerald by a certain date, you won't hit Emerald. If you don't have a goal to hit Success Club every month, you're not going to be helping people. So, like, it doesn't keep you accountable to your own personal goals in your physical journey either. If you don't have a goal to be by a certain day, you don't have anything to push for. And the same goes as anything in life. If you don't have a goal to lose 20 pounds in 3 months, or whatever your health goal is, it's not just going to happen unless you put the activity behind it. And that's where we, as your uplines, want to be able to help you get there, so we don't feel like we're just like pounding information at you. But know that we've felt those things, but we want you guys to utilize us too, and us helping you hit your goal. Because it's not about, you know, if your goal is to just, I don't know whatever your goal is, like, we respect that, but we also want to push you too. So figure out what your goal is with your business for the month, whatever that is, and push yourself this month. You have to get out of your comfort zone. It has to be something you've done before, or you never will. It's not just going to happen. So putting deadlines, I don't know what, just making
Can I put a plug when you're done, Sharon?
Yes, go for it.
I was just going to say, like, with what Ashley was talking about with sticking around, I feel like obviously the income side of coaching is super fabulous, but you do have to have both. If you're in this business to make money, go somewhere else that it's a lot more consistent, because this is hard. This business is hard and it's amazing and it is incredibly fulfilling, but it is not a get rich quick scheme. Like, no, if you're in this to make $1 million in 3 minutes, go somewhere else. Become a drug dealer or something, but that's not here. Yeah. So you have to have the desire to help people too, but you have to have both. And hitting Success Club, I personally, and you'll hear, like, I've heard Jeff Hill say this so many times. He's the guy who leads the National Wake Up Calls. If you don't know who that is, he hates the term Success Club because it makes it sound like something it's not. You are changing people's lives. It's not Success Club. It's not just hitting 3 sales. You're changing 3 people's lives. And as a result, you're hopefully building your team. You're hopefully getting people who are going to love Shakeology and want to become either a discount coach or a coach that actually builds the business. But no matter what, you just helped 3 people find a product that has the potential to change their lives if you help them. It's not like LipSense or pretty much every other MLM where you just have to sell them a product once and bada bing, bada boom, you're done. They'll come back to me if they ever want another dress from LuLaRoe or if they run out of their color. Like, when you make that sale, that's just the beginning. You are helping them change their lives. And that is why people stick around when they hit Success Club, because they have that sense of fulfillment of knowing that they part in helping that person lose pounds, that person lose their baby weight, that person lose 80 pounds, that person change their marriage, that person help their financial and physical and mental and emotional health. Like, it is so much more than just helping 3 people buy a challenge pack. Like, you know what I mean? It's, you are changing people's lives. You are changing the world.
Well, and that's, I think, a really good, because I think a lot of people say, I didn't see, and this is not something I can relate to, because I did sign up for the business for the income side. So I did start for the income because of where we were at financially. But when people say, I don't care about the income, Bryn, that was perfect. I just want to help people. I just want to change. I just want to help people. Okay. Change their life then. You have to, everything relates to itself. The more value you create and the more you change other people's lives, the more people are going to trust you, which is going to make it easier for you to help people change their lives, because they're going to want to come to you, which is going to do your job, not for you, but it's going to help you do your job, which will turn into you being able to get an income from it, which will build confidence, which will help you be able to create more value because you feel confident, it will all just change people's lives. Just look for ways that, and if you need a good PD book to help with like some of these limiting beliefs that we've talked about, if you feel like I don't have a reason for anyone to pick me, or I don't know why anyone would pick me, or whatever, there are books we can recommend to help with that, because you have to think that you can change someone's life, and that not only do you have to have the desire, you have to have the belief in yourself that you can change their life. You know what I mean?
That's where PD comes in.
A freaking man, which is why we always say we can tell when you're not doing PD, because it makes a difference.
So anyway, I think that's pretty much all we wanted to cover today, but anything else anyone has any questions about, you're struggling with, speak now. Anybody?
I just want to put a plug in for a week of hard labor. If everybody streams it, then they donate $1 to the Hurricane Harvey thing. So everybody do it.
Yeah. Even if you don't actually do the workout, just stream it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will say this, being pregnant and not being able to fully be a product of the product because vegetables make you want to throw up, it is so much harder to post and to like share your journey when you're not doing crap. I'm not like,
Or when you don't have a transformation anymore.
yes.
Yep.
Yes. When you're 8
Yup.
weeks pregnant and you full on look like you're 20 weeks pregnant already. Yeah. It's so hard. So I'm just telling you that we all have our struggles. Ashley's pregnant. She struggled. It's hard. So we get it. Like, trust me, we get it. It's not easy to want to show up and to post anything. But the thing is people still are watching you. So if you disappear, they'll notice. You don't want to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You disappear, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, I need to lose some weight. So you reappear, and you're just like, ah! There goes my energy eyes all over my desk.
Oh no.
Anyway, you get what I'm saying. I gotta clean this up. So, anything else before I stop recording? Just know we love you. We're here to help you. That's what we're doing these calls for. So if you guys really, like, if you're struggling, please let us know what you're struggling with and how we can help you. If you need ideas, if you need suggestions, whatever, that's what we're here for. Hey, panties over there. Everyone can see your bum. Well, there's Lexi.
Mom life is great.
Yeah, lovely. I actually didn't even notice until I saw Michelle laughing. I was like, wait, what is going on? Okay, we will let you go then. Hopefully this helped. And next week, calls go to Mondays at noon. So make sure you write that down. It's going to be every Monday at noon.
And next week's call is a goal setting call. So we're not going to record it because it would be dumb to watch the recording of that. What we're going to have you guys do is you're going to come to the call with your goals already set. And we're going to help you reverse engineer them and break them down and figure out what you need to do each week to make them happen. So hence why we wouldn't watch the recording, because no one wants to watch everyone else's goals being broken down and not hear theirs. So if there's ever a call to get on live, it's going to be that one. We're going to do this once a month. But I mean, reverse engineering your goals makes a big difference. But I know Bryn has a huge testimony of how like freaking awesome these calls can be. So
This is the call. This kind of call is what made me go diamond. Because Jalen called me out and she was like, yo, Bryn, what are your goals and why aren't you making them happen? And I was like, okay, I'm going to go. So it works. So get on.
And I think most of the time when people aren't hitting their goals, it's because they come up with excuses, but more than anything, it's the fear and the self-belief part. And we, as your coaches, 100% know and believe that you can do whatever you put your mind to. We are our worst critics, and we get in our way. Every one of us.
which is why it's so helpful to have someone else help you with the goals, because sometimes you get in your own way.
Yes.
Okay.
We all do it.
And to say them out loud and to have other people hear you say them out loud, because then it makes it a lot more real because other people are holding you accountable.
Up. And admitting out loud what you're wanting is, it is one thing to say, to think, you know what, someday I really would like to, for a perfect example, I really want to rescue another dog from a shelter. But it's another thing when I tell people we want to rescue another dog, or I would love to start some sort of like nonprofit or something where I donate money to make it so that dogs don't get euthanized, and that to make more no-kill shelters, like, because that's something that I'm super, super passionate about. But if I don't tell anybody that and I just sit and think in my head how much I want to adopt another dog, I don't even think my husband knows how much I want to adopt another dog, because I talk about it so much in my head that when it does actually come out occasionally, when I find a dog that I think would be a good fit, then it's always like, wait, what? Where did this come from? So talking about your goals and getting them out there helps people support you too. Not only does it help them come true, it helps people support you. Because
But
other
it's
people
also-
know what you want.
It's kind of the whole vision board thing. When you put it out in the universe, you'll have opportunities to happen. So.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. We'll call it good. We'll see you next Monday. Love you all.
Monday's gonna rock. Have a fabulous weekend.